Welcome into the Italian Pavilion. I'm Davide. I will glad to welcome you in our pavilion and to tour you all the installation we got. So here we have the first installation. This installation, it's a map. It's a map of Callapoda. Callapoda, it's an Italian cartographer of 16th century. And this map represents a travel, a trip. There is no better tool than a map to start a travel. And that's here for start our trip. So we can start and we can go upstairs. So our pavilion, it's a completely sustainable pavilion. First of all, as you can see, our pavilion has no walls and no facade. It's completely open. So that's why it's one of the only pavilion without air conditioning. It's completely carbon free. We just got these nautical ropes that are made with recycled plastics, the equivalent of more than 4 million bottles of water. And they are 27 meters high for a total of 70 kilometers of nautical ropes. For the ceilings, as you can see, they are ships upside down. And at the end of Expo, these ships will be on the sea again, recycled. Here we got the first installation. This is the atomic clock. Realized by Leonardo Enterprise, this is the most accurate clock ever realized. Just 1 second of error each 3 million years, and it's right now in 30 satellites in space. It's used to calculate time and to calculate space. For the floor, as you can see, we use orange peels. For the walls, we use coffee grounds. So, above our heads, you can find an installation of Bulgari called Zoteria. This installation is made with more than 50 diamonds and light stones that represents the golden jubilees that took place here in December to celebrate the 50 years of the history of the Arab Emirates. Alright, so here you find the tilt rotor AW609. This is an incredible innovation because it combines the characteristics of both helicopters and plane. Alright, so I want you to pay attention to these pillars. These pillars got numbers. The numbers are the famous Fibonacci sequence. So Fibonacci is an Italian mathematician of 13th century. And this sequence represents these numbers. Each number is the total of the two numbers before. So 5 is 2 plus 3. 8 is 3 plus 5. 13, 5 plus 8, and so on. These numbers are here because are a tribute to the Italian genius, but also it's a reference to the infinite, because they are possibly infinite, and they are also a reference to the nature, because you can find the sequence in the seeds and in the flower system. So from here, I would like to pay attention to these water mirrors. As you can see, there are different water mirrors, green and red. They are cultivation of microalgae that are called the green one Spirulina algae and the red one Hematococcus algae. Let's get closer. So, as I said, here we got the spirulina algae. And if you please look closer, here we got a research lab. This research lab is of Tolo Green. Tolo Green is the company that works with this algae. Once the algae is dry, this is the final result, a paint. It's completely sustainable and natural, and we use it for the paintings in our pavilion, the green paintings. The red one is that it's mainly used for cosmetics, for skincare and lipsticks. Here in front of us we find this structure. It is called Belvedere, and it's made with a technique called dry stone wool from 2018, part of UNESCO World Heritage Techniques. Let's go inside. So here we find the Belvedere. Belvedere means the place where we can see the beauty in Italian. Here you got 8 displays where we show through a video edited by Gabriele Salvatore, the very famous Oscar-winning film director, the beauties of the Italian region. In this case, Sicily, Liguria region show you Abbazia di San Fruttuoso. So please look on the dome. The dome resembles the famous Pantheon in Roma's dome. And we got an oculus, central oculus, where the landscape painting and Italian skies are shown. Alright, here we find in the short stories area. This is a temporary exhibition composed by 5 glass cases, as you can see. Here we tell you something. The Abruzzo region show how from precious stones we realize jewelry. So here you find some examples, and in these other glass cases we find the tools of the Italian art crafts. So how they realize from the precious stones some important famous jewelry. So here is the table where the art crafts realize the jewelry. As you can see, this is made from Scanno to Pesco Costanzo, that are Italian cities in Abruzzo region. We can go in the innovation space. So we find ourselves in the innovation space. First of all, in front of you, you find holograms. Realized by Lewis University, the holograms are talking directly to the visitors. The idea beyond the project is to create online meetings only with holograms. In this displays, we show how the innovation and Italian technology combines with the space. An example is the drill. The drill is gonna work on Mars and it's gonna go down up 2 meters looking for live traces and to collect samples. Realized by Leonardo Enterprise. Instead, beyond the pillar, you can see the Vega C launcher. The Vega C launcher is gonna debut this year 2022 and it's gonna be launched to carry satellites in orbit, in space. Here we got a typical Italian garden. This is a botanical garden we call smart garden. As you can see, each plant got this sensor. This sensor has wires that go to the soil, and this sensor communicates directly to Italy information about the soil. So the level of water, the level of sodium, and of course the level of stress of the plants. So why are important? Because they are all Mediterranean plants, and we want to see with this experiment which one is better for Dubai atmosphere. So on this side, as you can see, we got a famous reproduction of the chiostro of the Monastery of Santa Yara of Naples. Has been destroyed during the Second World War and has been recreated here through Dolce & Gabbana sponsor to symbolize the rebirth. We can go inside the Theater of Memory. So here we are in the Theater of Memory with the famous David of Michelangelo. The David sculpture is emphasized by these golden mosaics. The mosaics are made with golden leaves, with Murano glass, and with stones that emphasize the sculpture. The David is not the original one that has been realized with a digital reproduction, and as you can see, it's identical to the original one. Has the same size and the same dimensions, and has been created by the University of Florence. So we use filaments, resins, and they scan the original one, printing in 14 pieces, and then put together. This is the final result. They cover the sculpture with a kiln of marble dust, and they gave all the small imperfection, so the veins, the eyes, and all the imperfection Michelangelo gave to the sculpture. Why the David is here? Because our message is beauty connects people, and there is no better Italian sculpture than the David, because it represents the one of the best culture of beauty, Italian beauty. So from this side we have the last part of our journey. Here we find Caimi's panels. They are soundproof, so that's why you hear different. So this is the last installation of our trip. It's 24 meters high dimension displays. This display shows you the Italian landscapes with Ferrovie dello Stato trains that runs into this landscape, as you can see. So this train represents the journey in our pavilion, a journey that is gonna end, but we hope that this journey, the journey of knowledge, will continue. Thank you.